white dresses, blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things.
This is CPR News. It's the 4th annual Colorado Matters Holiday Extravaganza at the Newman Center in Denver. And once again, here's your host, Ryan Warner.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you so much. And once again, Andy Hackbarth, you just add such a lovely, what is the word? Je ne sais quoi. That's what you say when you can't come up with the word.
Oh gosh.
Our next guest often jokes that she's the 4th of 3 children. We'll explain that momentarily. Boulder comedian Nancy Norton is the first woman to win the Boston Comedy Festival. That was just last year. And just this month, she became only the 2nd woman to win the Seattle International Comedy Competition. Norton is a stand-up veteran and performs regularly at Denver Comedy Works. So let's welcome Nancy Norton.
First time in this theater. That's what we call it where I'm from. I'm from the Ozarks. Woo! Yeah. Which trailer park? Okay, Newman Center. I'll heckle myself so you can relax. Not everybody in the Ozarks lives in a trailer park, okay? There is a huge waiting list. You don't just get in there. You gotta earn it. You start with a pickup truck and a camper shell and you build and you pray. You get a vision board, you put a double wide on there, and you manifest that. Watch what you pray for. Things don't always go well. You've all seen that half a trailer going down the highway? That's an Ozark divorce. I'm sorry to bring that up during the Holiday Extravaganza, but it happens. It's a wide load. It's a wide emotional load, kids. Those red flags are on there for a reason. Stay back 10, 15 years. I'll speak from experience. I live in half a trailer. Thank you. Do not feel bad for me, Newman Center. I live in Colorado in half a trailer, so the value, she went up exponentially, especially when I started calling her a tiny house. So, I am rich. I live in a tiny house. I cook on a tiny stove. I have a tiny stove. That's my Easy Bake oven. I still have it. Anybody have an Easy Bake growing up? Easy Bake, testify. Thank you, thank you. That's right, Easy Bake. First of all, misnomer, was not an easy bake, it was somewhat difficult bake. Somewhat challenging bake. What was that, 1/16 of a crappy cake? 1/16, can I say crappy on CPR? Sure, no, you're gonna edit that out. The kids are here, First of all, give it up for me, I had to follow beautiful children. The one rule in show business, do not follow children. Thank you, Ryan. 1/16 of a cake. Let's just call it a cake. It's 1/16 of a cake. You can't do fractions. You're 5. You can't do fractions, and they know that. You overload the little pan, globs of chocolate everywhere, huge cake rising up in that oven. Remember that? You're staring at it through that little window. Remember the window? The portal for your joy. We were cooking with a light bulb, kids. Kids, in our day, light bulbs got hot. Incandescent, they called them. You can't cook with an LED. You'll be there all day and just fudge. Can I say fudge? Yes, okay. A huge cake would rise up in there. You're staring at it. We're cooking with the light bulb, 100-watt bulbs, 2 of them, 200-watt bulbs. You're staring at through a piece of glass. Now look, they won't let you look at an eclipse, but you can stare at that 100-watt bulb. Girls don't need their retina, apparently. We went Easy Bake blind, a lot of us. I still am blind in this right eye. She's a drifter. She is a drifter. I meet twice as many people as the rest of you. Every cloud has a silly lining. That cake would rise up so big, and you had self-esteem. Do you remember that? Remember that transient self-esteem? because I say transient, because that was a big cake that had to come out of slot this high. Does anybody remember this problem? For those radio viewers, that was a big cake with a little slot, and it would not come out. You couldn't get it out there. You had to force it out with another cake pan. It was the 2-cake pan easy bake system. You actually had to bake another cake to get the other cake. Yeah, you had to bake another cake to get that cake. Cake. Setting you up for the type 2 diabetes that you now have. Pretty soon you had a stack of cakes this high. You're doing weddings for Barbie, and you did not know why. Stalactites of chocolate began to hang down off the light bulb. Stalactites of chocolate. You couldn't get them out of there, the slots. You couldn't clean it. They didn't give you any easy off for the easy bake. You had to get creative. You had to send Barbie in, spelunking. It was spelunking Barbie. Get in there, Barbie. No, I'm afraid. Get in there, Barbie. Does that look anything like a Barbie? You try to force Barbie in that little slot, but, in the 60s, parts of her were disproportionately large. You had to shave those off. And it took a lot of time. I don't care how rough your sidewalk is. So I'm a single mom. I'm a single stay away from home mom, I'll tell you that. It's better this way. I'm an older mom. I should have a 35-year-old. I have a 15-year-old. Yes, and you knew I was an older mom because my name is Nancy. They haven't made a Nancy since 1964. And I am not a late model Nancy. My neck fell this year, just fell. And I'm a single mom, I can't afford a facelift, so I just put a chip clip back here, which I will be selling in the lobby. I call them Ozark facelifts if you want one. Come and see me. My son is adorable, and by the way, I did not birth him in my 40s. I adopted him, or as he says, I bought him. I had a Groupon. That's his joke. That's how he copes. It's a beautiful thing. If you haven't considered adoption, let me just put that out this holiday season. Adopt a child for Christmas. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying it was a beautiful journey, and I'm so glad he's in my life. And although he's hilarious and funnier than me, and he's writing jokes now, and I'm going to tell you one of his jokes. Okay, he wrote this. What do you see when aliens get diarrhea? Mysterious crap circles. He's cute. When he was a toddler, his first words were, hot flash. He goes, that's it for me. I'm Nancy Norton. I hope you enjoy this holiday extravaganza. Thank you. You guys, this is such a beautiful theater. How about everybody do a little mini piece of an aria? Oh! You sang at the Newman Center. Thank you.
Nancy, come sit down with us. Thank you.
Sit down.
Have a seat in the couch with your absolutely hideous holiday vest.
Thank you. Come on, points for that is horrible. That is unflattering, and thank you.
So you mentioned the Ozarks. You still go back there for Christmas to be with your mom?
I'm very brave. Yes. I do. Every year we go to the Ozarks, see the family.
And what is that atmosphere like?
Well, there's a lot of bourbon.
But I mean for them.
Vegan, it's vegan. I am a redneck vegetarian. Yes.
There's a lot of bourbon. What do you do when you have had a lot of bourbon and the family is together?
I relax.
Yeah.
I relax. I don't drink a lot. I have two. You know when it hits your, do you drink?
I do.
You know how when the alcohol hits your esophagus for like 2 seconds, it feels like love? It's like a sense of belonging. I have a sense of belonging.
So this couch is not that kind of therapy couch. and she's laying down. All right.
So hang on.
We have a security crew at the Newman. Is that?
And
okay,
then what
good.
happened?
So you had the audience do a little song there.
Yeah,
Do you sing at all when you go home?
I'm asked not to. But I am the one. Seriously, my family's very musical. My father was going to tour as a musician. My sister was a music major, beautiful classical piano throughout our mobile home. And it was a split level. I lie sometimes, okay? But I was the one that they would say, shushy, don't sing. That's why I sing, because I'm a rebel.
Because you're a rebel.
Yeah, and I like it.
I understand that your grandparents brought a comical element to the holidays. Are they funny too?
Yes. Are they funny? My grandmother was the one who sparked my humor muses, and we had a secret relationship that my mother couldn't know about because we just laughed at inappropriate things. And one of the things she liked to do was to, push her dentures halfway out.
Oh.
And make them go clickety, clickety, clickety. And I loved it. And then she would put them in and go, shh, don't tell.
What do you think would have happened if your mother would have found out the antics that were going on?
Well, some shaming, the
Yeah.
usual.
I mean, it wouldn't be Christmas without shame, right?
That's true.
Or Hanukkah, for that matter.
Or Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Hanukkah, yes. They're equal shaming opportunities. Yeah.
What does this mean to be the fourth of three children?
Well, my mother, she wanted children up to a point. And then, so Frank, when I go home for Christmas, it's like Frank, Bob, and Cindy are in the photo albums. Frank, Bob, Cindy, Frank, Bob, Cindy. I'm like, where am I? My mom's like, well, you looked a lot like her. So I'm just saying, she got tired. It's nothing, nothing again. I love my mom, but she, I can imagine. I only have one, and I was going to adopt a second child because I love my siblings, and I wanted him to have a sibling. But, are you kidding me? Tired.
You're tired.
Yeah.
Well, I want to congratulate you on your win in Seattle.
I know, thank you.
This is so exciting.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
The first woman since 1985 to win that festival.
True, 34 years ago.
What is happening in Seattle?
It's not just Seattle. It's just stand-up is a boys' club, and it's kind of a genre that, I was a tomboy, as you may be able to tell by this vest and these shoes. But I'm just saying, I never subscribed to the gender roles, and that's helped me in these festivals because I don't know. I think I take up more space. Women, we're kind of taught we're not to take up space, we're not to talk too loud, we're not to be dominant, and it takes a lot to command an audience.
I'm amazed that this many years on from a Joan Rivers, for instance, that this is still a reality.
I hear it, man.
in
I
comedy.
do. I get it. I know. It's interesting. But that was 20 years of the festival in Boston. No woman had ever won it.
Yeah.
And then 1985, and they hadn't had a woman in the final since 2004. So I just think there's just something, when you do these festivals, it is a different skill set. It's not just stand-up, there's a different skill set in the festival, in the competition.
Well, wait, if it's not just stand-up, what else
Well,
is
it is just stand-up, but I mean, you really have to hyper-focus and push energy to the back wall, and really, you have to get people excited. So it is a little higher energy, and luckily, Nance is a marathon runner, and you know what I mean? I have a lot of energy, and I'm very needy, so. So it worked out.
Well, we need you.
Oh, I need you guys.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Congratulations.
Hey, Ryan, thank you. Happy holidays.
More holiday music and memories after break, and original song from a Colorado band with deep roots in Mexico. And later, a band we've been thinking about for more than a year. You're listening to the Colorado Matters Holiday Extravaganza, brought to you by Velco Credit Union and Swallow Hill Music. This is CPR News.